Hello and welcome to Money Matters. Hong Kong has been known as Asia's world city for decades. As an international financial hub, all the top companies are here. But it's not just finance that makes the city tick. It's the restaurants, bars, and the culture of Hong Kong that has attracted top talent from all over the world. 2 years of COVID isolation has put the city's global reputation under pressure and its economy on death's door. Is there a way out?
I've seen the 67 riots, then I saw the virus. This is the biggest one which we lost losing a lot of money on it.
Yeah. COVID won't chase us away, but who knows what. You can predict the pandemic, but it's hard to predict policy response.
What's the strategy? What is the government going to do to help us and to have a clear vision on where Hong Kong is going?
Hong Kong is home to about 7.4 million people, and while the majority are locals, there is a huge population of foreigners who also call Hong Kong their home. Manu Milwani moved to Hong Kong in 1957 with his father Sam, who set up the world-famous Sam's Tailor in Burlington Arcade, Tsim Sha Tsui. Their clients include numerous world leaders. They also made famous the 24-hour suit for people coming to Hong Kong on business who wanted a hand-tailored suit and fast.
People, they arrive on the aircraft and they're going back and they say, okay, can you give me the suit? I say, yes, we'll give you fitting within 45 minutes, 1 hour. I cut the suit, right away we stitch it and put it on the body.
Manu says tourists account for over 60% of his business, so with the borders closed, he's really struggling.
But at this minute, I'm not doing anything. I'm paying to my workers from my own pocket now.
Manu does count himself lucky, since he says he did well for so many years and bought all the properties he uses for his business. So not paying rent takes huge pressure off of him. He employs 57 people and continues to pay them.
They were very, very good to me because I made money when they were doing work with me. Now I'm just giving back to them. All my staff in here, they're all working for me straight. I'm not fired yet.
Alex Offe grew up in Hong Kong and decided to come back and set up shop after studying overseas. Like Manu, he agrees that keeping his staff employed and paid is the most important thing for him and his partner.
If you ask anyone in the industry, this fight has become a lot more than just us as business owners and making sure that the business stays afloat. I think it's become a survival. We've gone into this survival mode for our teams. You know, every time we've had to impose these unpaid leave, it hurts. My partner and I, we understand what that means for them and for their families.
After the latest social distancing guidelines were implemented in January, Alex decided that it wasn't worth it to keep one of his restaurants open since they were only making 20% of what they were making in December, well below what they were making pre-pandemic.
The rent is still the same. We have our teams to pay. We have suppliers to pay. So, you know, when you think running a restaurant here in Hong Kong, your rent is usually, you know, between your 10 to 20% depending on the space. As soon as you do 20%, 30% of turnover, you're bleeding. And that's where we are right now. So it's very difficult.
While the government has allotted a $170 billion budget in relief measures and recently rolled out a new round of the employment support scheme to help some 1.3 million workers, Alex says this just offers short-term support.
Small businesses and is all about cash flow. You know, we're very low margin, low profit businesses. So we almost run by a month-by-month basis. The last thing you want is to accumulate debt, to put yourself in an even more difficult situation. It's a 100% guaranteed loan, but you have to put in a 50% personal guarantee. So if you're not able to pay that loan, then you know what happens. You're putting debt on yourself, and you're back in the same situation.
Diana David is a consultant, author, and speaker who first moved to Hong Kong in 1999. Like Manu and Alex, this city is her home.
We're not one of the families that's fleeing for the exits by any means. I've never thought about leaving Hong Kong for good until really recently. It seems like Hong Kong is a difficult place to do business, but my family's here, and until the next announcement, we're staying.
She says that since the pandemic guidelines were put in place, particularly regarding travel, she's lost about 30 to 40% of her business.
I am an outlier relative to everybody who is competing for the same business globally. People are flying to do speeches and keynotes. They are flying to meet clients. People are getting together in person, and I just don't feel like I have that opportunity.
The recent announcement to lift the flight bans and drop quarantine to 7 days comes as a relief to many like Diana, who are still holding out hope for Hong Kong.
9 countries have been imposed a circuit breaker flight ban, and this is no longer necessary. We are seeking to have the earliest time, i.e. the 1st of April, for the flights to be resumed to Hong Kong.
For one undergoing quarantine at a designated hotel, even if the quarantine period is 14 days, if the PCR test on day 5 and the RT results on day 6 and 7 all tests negative, the visitor can leave the quarantine hotel early.
I would like to be able to easily go in and out. I would like to be able to understand what some of the thinking is behind why we do what we do and why different restrictions are in place.
Alex hopes the government can offer more support to SMEs. His restaurant in Paris had to close for months, but with government support, they weathered it well.
There was tremendous support. Salaries were paid up to 85%. Utilities were sometimes deferred. Rents were sometimes waived or deferred depending on which lockdown we were in. We had the possibility of getting 100% guaranteed loan with 0 interest and 0 personal guarantee. And we were able to defer the first year of payment to a later stage. So that is a real support, because at the end of the day, what we need is cash to get over this crisis. But that's the type of support that we got, and that really had a positive impact.
More than anything, those who've chosen to wait it out are hoping Hong Kong will once again be the city that it was.
There's no other city like Hong Kong where you have the beach 25 minutes away from a bustling city center. And the opportunities that you have here in terms of business as well as lifestyle is you cannot compare it to other major cities. Whether it's for locals or expats, the fact that the F&B industry is so attractive, so dynamic, that the hotels are what they are, that the nightlife is what it is, makes a huge difference to convincing, talent to come here. And right now, if we lose that, it's one of the main reasons why a lot of talents are leaving. It is a huge part of Hong Kong, and it has to be a huge part of how Hong Kong bounces back.
It's still a great place to live. It just doesn't feel like it's going to be the same international city that it was when I came. I think most cities have the appeal of being a melting pot of interesting people, and that's what attracts people to cities. So I hope that Hong Kong can maintain a group of amazing people from all over the world doing amazing things that you can meet and socialize with and do business with, and that's what makes Hong Kong so interesting.
Meantime, Manu is waiting for the time that borders will fully open and hopes that Hong Kong will once again be a destination people want to visit.
It's up to her, the big boss of Hong Kong, what she does. It's up to her everything.
China is considering requiring Tencent to include WeChat Pay in a newly created financial holding company and to operate separately from the social media arm. Bloomberg News says the overhaul could require the company to apply for a new mobile payment service license. The news comes after Tencent was reportedly facing a potential fine in the hundreds of millions of yuan for violating some central bank regulations on the payment platform. Sanctions hit Russia appears to have averted what would have been its first external bond default in a century, making a payment on some Russian bond coupons. The Russian Finance Ministry said it had covered a $117 million coupon payment on 2 dollar-denominated sovereign bonds. Reuters reported that some creditors have already received the payment. The payments are seen as the first test of whether Moscow will meet its international debt obligations after it invaded Ukraine and Western sanctions hobbled its financial dealings. Russia faces further payment hurdles as another $615 million in payments comes due through the rest of March. Russian companies are also under scrutiny for their ability and willingness to pay. The country has nearly $100 billion in hard currency bonds outstanding, of which around a fifth are held by international investors. Analysts said Russia still faces the high risk of bond default unless it's offered a lifeline, such as from China.
Coming up on Money Matters, some luxury rents drop in Wanchai in the fifth wave. Stay with us. Welcome back to Money Matters. Hong Kong's rental market has been under pressure in the fifth wave of COVID. Can the easing of social distancing restrictions throw landlords a lifeline? Alice Kahn reports on a luxury project in Wan Chai North where landlords have cut rents to attract tenants.
After visiting the Star Street precinct, we went to Wanchai North. North of Gloucester Road is referred to as Wanchai North. It is home to the city's large exhibition and conference centers, five-star hotels, and office blocks. Still, there are luxury residential projects here, and they are popular with professionals. For those not leaving the city yet, the fifth wave offers renters discounts.
I think the rental market is still not optimistic during the first quarter or the second quarters this year. We expect that the rents will drop by 3 to 5% this year.
Vincent says Hong Kong's strict COVID measures have scared away expats. Attracting them back means offering discounts. Currently, the average rent in Wanchai District ranges from $47 to $59 per square foot, lower than mid-levels where rent is more than $60 per square foot. This week, we looked for a bargain flat in this 32-year-old luxury building next to a five-star hotel and the Convention and Exhibition Center. The block provides 602 units, with sizes ranging between 405 square feet to 4,816 square feet. 40% of the apartments here are leased. Rent ranges from $23,000 to $98,000 a month. The average rent in this project is $47 per square foot, down 10% from mid-2019.
In the past, most of the tenants are the expats. They work at the management levels, so the incomes normally are more than 100,000 per month and afford to pay the rent here. But since the economy turning down, the allowance has been dropped, so they may choose cheaper units.
The flat we visited is a 933 square foot furnished apartment. The landlord cut the rent by 10%. He is asking $46,000 or $49 per square foot, above the average.
What's the size of this living and dining area?
The living and dining area is around 260 square foot.
Well, this area is quite spacious.
Yes, you can see here enough space for a shoe cabinet. And over there, there's a cabinet for storage.
This is a dining area, right?
Yes, this is a table for 6.
Then can we fit more people?
Sure, we can. We can go to the living room to put a table.
The tenant would need to put in an extended table into the living room to accommodate more people, as the layout is irregular.
Can you see the coffee table here? You can remove it and put a bigger table, so you can have a party here to serve over 10 people.
The main color theme of the flat is pastel pink and yellow, which creates a cozy atmosphere. The decor also makes the living room inviting.
It seems the carpet and the wallpaper and everything is look very new. Did the landlord has redo the whole place after the tenants move out?
Yes, every time when the tenants move out, the landlord will do some renovation. You see the new carpet and the new wallpaper. The landlord is quite artistic and he wants to attract good tenants.
The living room also has a very large window bringing in natural light.
Yvonne, how many bedrooms in this unit?
There are 2 bedrooms in this unit. Let me show you.
The bedrooms are also decorated.
Oh, this is the first bedroom.
Yes.
Oh, the landlord also provide a king-size bed.
Most of the landlord don't provide bed, but this landlord provide all the furniture. So the new tenants no need to worry about the furniture.
Then they don't have to pay more money on buying the own furniture, right?
Yes, so they can just get their luggage and everything is settled.
The bedroom is 120 square feet. Not small, but the layout is irregular, making it less practical.
But it looks a bit less than 120 square foot. And also, are there any enough place for storage?
Yes, we have a large built-in wardrobe here. So it provides plenty of storage.
It's a bit cramped.
Next, we checked out the second bedroom.
Is this bedroom bigger than the other one?
Actually, this room is smaller. It is around 110 square foot. But it is a square shape, so it is quite usable.
Okay. Then what's this bedroom used for then?
The last tenant uses as an office. You can see the working desk there.
It was also used as storage. There's a large wardrobe along the wall.
You can see some shelves for the t-shirt and put some dress and coats over there.
Yvonne reckons the tenant can turn it back into a bedroom.
There's a built-in wardrobe there and built-in mirror there. It's really hard to put a bed here. Then where do we locate the bed?
I will suggest put a double bed here, and the bed head is over here. So if you had guests to come, so they can let the guests stay in.
And the bathroom is quite roomy.
The size of it is around 55 square foot. It is almost similar to a new building's bedroom.
Okay. Then it seems like the quality is also quite nice.
Yes, the landlord used the high quality furnishings. You see the marble countertop, floor and tiles.
The kitchen is also reasonably sized and well equipped with electrical appliances. A washing machine is provided. View-wise, the flat looks out at other buildings.
Yvonne, would the landlord further reduce the rent?
This is a very good deal, and the rental are affected by the interior quality and the finishing. These units are nicely done, so the landlord can ask for more.
Who would like to rent this type of rents because the rent is still quite high?
In fact, the rent is not is at a reasonable market price when compared to Sai Poon's units. They are asking for over $60 per square foot, and now the average price is $49 per square feet. As the rental has been come down, more affordable to those people like lawyers and bankers, because their offices are nearby, so they want to choose a convenient locations.
Amenities-wise, the building offers 24-hour security, maid services, and a swimming pool. It is in proximity to Wanchai MTR and ferries. The future exhibition MTR station will be at its doorstep. It is uncertain if the new Shatin Central Link will help support the rental market in Wanchai North.
We expected the Shatin Central Link, the the sections crossing the harbor to Wanchai and Admiralty will be completed before the end of this year. Wanchai will be the first stop after crossing harbor. So we expect that more companies or corporations, they would prefer to set up an office in Wanchai. And we expect that the 3 government buildings in the northern part of Wanchai will be demolished soon. And all these buildings will be replaced by the private offices or the convention facilities. Definitely that would help to improve the price and the rent of the properties located in northern part of Wanchai.
Christie's is to sell Andy Warhol's Blue Marilyn in May. Known officially as Shot Sage Blue Marilyn, it comes from the collection of the Thomas and Doris Amann Foundation and was painted in 1964. The work will lead Christie's marquee sales week of 20th century and 21st century works with an estimate of around $200 million. The painting is poised to be the most expensive work of the 20th century ever sold at auction. Christie says the sale's a significant moment in art history.
This painting is 60 years old. Do you really feel like you're standing in front of a 60-year-old painting? It has something, she has something which is unique. The beauty, also the tragedy that comes with it. It's all part of it, and it's all in her.
The proceeds will be donated to charity. French farmers rode their tractors into Paris from time to time to confront the urban public and the government with one complaint after another about agricultural issues. But on this day, the Young Farmers Union brought the sights and scents of Les Paysans to the Champs-Élysées. Its sheer incongruity drew massive crowds to the avenue that the French call the most beautiful in the world. French farmers have seen incomes plummet in recent years. In 2009, they sank 34% from 2008 levels and have been vocal in their demands for government assistance. But organizers said the event was not meant as a political statement, but rather as an opportunity for les citadins to interact with les provinciaux, the countryside. The event was also meant as a celebration of the traditional practice of moving cattle to their summer pastures that takes place every year in the Pyrenean region. Formidable.
That's the show. Thanks for watching. Next time on Money Matters, businesses that cater to the shut-ins of the pandemic. See you then. Good night.